Does it ever feel like no matter what you do for lead generation, it never seems to get you enough leads or the clients you actually want to work with? If so, I totally get it. I mean, if you're anything like me, you've probably wasted so much time. You've wasted thousands of dollars chasing different lead generation systems, promising the world that simply never work. But I've been working on a strategy with some of the agents I'm coaching right now that's helping them to get the best listings in the market. The listings that every other agent in the market wishes they had. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works so that you always have a full pipeline of listings and start to get your unfair share of what I call dream clients. So to start, let me show you the type of dream clients you'll get after you start implementing this system. So when I talk about dream clients, let me introduce you to the ideal client avatar matrix. So there's 4 parts to the matrix. One is, okay, if you could wave a wand and create like the ideal client that you would want and you'd only want for the rest of your real estate sales career, who would they be? Would they be a buyer or would they be a seller? Most of you would say, yeah, I would much prefer to have seller listings. Okay, I would agree. Okay, what type of property would they actually have? So if you had a listing, not just any listing, but what type of property would they actually want? Well, you'd probably pick one that every single buyer in the marketplace would be attracted to. If you had to pick, if you could wave a wand, you'd put this property on the market and you knew with absolute certainty that this would be the type of property that when it hit the market, you'd get, the one where you get like 25 showing requests within the first day of hitting the market. You get 5 or 10 offers within the first 3 days, get the multiple offer situation. You'd probably pick that type of property. Then, where would that property be? If you could wave a wand, where would it be? If you could draw a bullseye and you say, okay, I want this property to be in this neighborhood, the neighborhood that you want to dominate, the neighborhood that you want to become the go-to agent, that if you could, again, wave a wand, you'd say, I want all my listings in this neighborhood. And every single time somebody thinks about listing their home, they called you. This is what we're talking about. And then why? When we say why, if you could wave a wand, what price point would you want? Well, when we talk about creating your ideal client avatar, I call them dream clients. We're talking about selling properties that have a 2x multiplier with your average commission. So when we look at this, we say, okay, we want seller listings. We want property types that we know that when we hit the market, multiple offers would happen. They'd be in the exact areas in which we wanted to serve. And we would, every time we'd sell one, we would earn double the amount of commission than my average commission. But here's the big problem with most lead generation strategies. It doesn't matter if you're doing, call it some type of social media advertising or social media marketing or any type of inbound lead generation. Like, let's just say, for an example, you're posting on Instagram 3 times per day and you're trying to drive inbound leads. Or let's just say you have a YouTube channel and you're generating content that attracts people to contact you. Well, the issue with that is, number one, you probably get what I would call bad clients. And what I mean by bad clients is either unmotivated buyers or sellers, or mostly buyers that you would prefer to have sellers. And so you have no control over that. Or they have bad properties that they want to purchase or they want to sell, that if you could wave a wand, you wouldn't be messing around with those properties. Or in bad locations, they're probably generating leads in areas in which you got to drive all over town to service, where you would prefer to spend your time, energy, and effort in one place and build some market share. Or at a bad price. What I mean by bad price point is either A, so expensive that they never sell, or B, at a super, super low price where it's hard to stay profitable. Or let's just take cold calling for an example. Same problem. If you're randomly, drawing a circle around some, random area, they call it circle prospecting, and you just start hammering the phone The same problem exists. You have no idea who's going to pick up the phone. You have no idea the type of property that they have to sell, perhaps. Maybe you get to pick the location, but then price point becomes an issue. Or maybe it's open houses. Again, with open houses, you have no idea who is going to step foot inside of that open house. And so you might not get your ideal clients. You see, all this is an issue with most of these lead generation options. Same thing with paid leads, right? If you buy leads from any type of lead provider out there, it doesn't matter. You don't know the type of client. You don't know which type of property they want to buy or sell. You don't know where they want to do it. And you don't know it to which price point. Same issue with your sphere of influence. With your sphere of influence, yes, of course you want to serve your sphere of influence, but is it the buyer or seller that you want? Sometimes, and you've probably been there, you've got a sphere of influence, past client, center of influence, a friend, family member, referral, and they want to look at 150 houses. I mean, literally, their hobby is to have you run around town all week showing them every single property that is listed on the market with no real intent to buy. You've all been there, but it's like, man, it's my friend, so I got to actually do it, right? Same problem with referrals, right? You probably feel bad so that when you get referrals, it's like, I got to do this. I can't just turn the business down. I want to keep getting referrals. Same thing with farming, right? You just don't have any control over any of this. And the same thing with networking. If you go to these B&I groups or these networking groups, all the same thing exists. So I'm going to introduce you to this big idea that changes all of this for you forever. So I call it the Bullseye Prospecting System. Why do I call it that? Because this system that I'm going to show you exactly how to do in just a second will allow you to generate the exact type of properties that buyers want. Like, you get to decide on the type of listings, right? We're talking about getting seller listings that you know that when you put them on the market, that buyers will flock to like crazy. So you already know that there's a ton of demand and that they'll sell extremely fast. Now, when this happens, something amazing, incredible happens, is you start to create this flywheel effect in your business, all right? And so if you've never experienced this before, is when you get one of these listings, okay? So when you get one of these listings, it attracts a ton of clients. And so when you start to attract a ton of clients, not only do you get it sold fast, but then you start to attract more clients. And the reason why you start to attract more clients is because everyone's like, wow, every time this agent puts a property on the market, not only is it the best listings in town, the one that all the buyers want, the one that all the agents wish they had, but then you have all the buyers that come to you as well. So you have the best properties and the best buyers all coming to you, which then starts to attract more clients, and then you start getting more of those listings. And so that's the power of this system. Well, the other thing is this. It's the exact neighborhoods that you want to serve. So once you start to get these types of listings, you start to become the dominant go-to agent for all of these property sellers. And so I'm going to show you the exact message to get these clients, and what you can do and what you can say to get these dream clients to want to work with you in just a second. And so let's just make sure that we understand this really clearly. So the Bullseye System, who? We're talking about getting motivated sellers. What? The hottest properties in the market. Where? The neighborhoods that you want to be the go-to agent. We talked about that. And why? It's the price point that allows you to earn double the amount of income than you would selling any other type of property. Now, here's the thing. I was going to put this entire system here on YouTube, but for some reason, because I share the MLS and it has like public record in there, YouTube thinks that I'm like sharing, I don't know, public record or personal information or something. So there's a link right in the description beneath this video. Just click it. Let me know the best email. I'll email you a link to this video. I had to keep it private for whatever reason. YouTube does not want me to put this up. And so I walk you through the entire strategy from start to finish on how you can implement the Bullseye System so that you can start getting these types of listings right away.